Welcome back to another Jazz basketball breakdown. Obviously, no Shawn tonight. Truthfully, I don't know where he is. I know he was getting off late at work, and he still hasn't shown up. So we're doing this solo. He probably saw the score and didn't want to watch. Another really, really rough night tonight, and the score doesn't even feel like it represents the whole truth of this game because it felt like similar to the last night. It just felt like there was real no chance once they went on a little bit of run and pulled away early. It never felt like there was really a chance for us to get back in this game. Um, Colin Sexton has 22 and 7 in this game, and I don't know. His efficiency wasn't bad. It was actually pretty solid and stuff like that. But I still feel like we're getting a lot of just kind of pounding it out possessions right now out of him and not getting great looks or possessions and no real flow. I think he is kind of similar to last couple games, going kind of backwards of the development we had seen from him. I think it reiterates the fact that I believe he is a really good six man, but not necessarily a number one or two guy star on a team. And so I don't really, and we don't really have the team right now to make him a six man until we make some moves, truthfully. So I don't blame him for starting him right now, but it can be very frustrating at times. Lowry Marketing, he actually came out, got a couple quick buckets up, got a quick couple shots, and proceeded to take two more shots in the entire first quarter. He scored two quick buckets in the first 2 minutes of the game. He then proceeded to just like not ever get the ball again until about 2 minutes left in the quarter. He subbed out for a little bit, but that just can't happen. And then as the game progressed, he ends up starting to take a couple really tough covered threes that just were not good looks on top of it. And then, and I'm okay with every once in a while kind of taking a tough shot and stuff like that, with especially from star players, but didn't really ever get a couple nice looks this game. We once again really suck at getting him the ball in any sort of good position. So a little give and take on both aspects of that. But this game really felt like we just did not have any sort of execution. We are struggling with not just going one-on-one basketball the past few games a lot and being really heavily one-on-one basketball, which leads to a lot of leads to a lot of turnovers by us, and it makes it really muddied game, no rhythm for any of our players on our offensive side of the court, and then their guys get really easy fast break layups and dunks and transition buckets where their team seems to be in so much better of a flow than our team, and really frustrating to watch. But it just, once again, we're not a team that's really gonna even make noise in the playoffs. And we are just playing crazy, minutes based off of that. We're playing minutes as if we are a team that's trying to go compete right now for a championship with the way we're playing certain veterans. We're really not heavily feeding the ball to Lowry Markkinen, which I'd like to do more of. We're if you take away the fact that Keontae plays the entire fourth quarter because we're blown out for most of the game, Keontae plays really low minutes. He comes in and plays like a 5-minute stretch in the first half, maybe 6-minute stretch, and that's it. And that's just, I don't know. To me, that's not good enough. We need to get him with better lineups and allow him to run the point. We have fully taken away him from any sort of running the offense. And if that comes with some turnovers and stuff like that, I'm okay with that because it's developing him to really develop into that point guard on this team for the future. Just having him out there with super heavy ball dominant guards at the same time. It's not working. It's not helping anybody. Another game in the fourth quarter, obviously, I would say against backups, but Jalen Brunson played most of the fourth quarter. He has a pretty good, a little bit of an offensive explosion. Now, playing kind of devil's advocate, having a double-edged sword, whatever you want to call it, Keontae really needs to be pushed on the defensive side of the court. He is playing Jordan Clarkson defense. He's just kind of moves out of the way. Doesn't really give much of a fight. He's trying to bait calls now, and he's really bad at timing those. So it ends up just giving the guy a wide open shot. And so he needs to spend a lot of time with our defensive wings working on that side of the court. That is something he needs to get much better about. No question. And it's part of the reason why he should be playing with Chris Dunn or playing with Agbaji as the 1-2, playing defensive heavy lineups and players that will hold him accountable. That's a big part of it in itself. Is there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of accountability being held right now because Will Hardy keeps talking about how we're making stupid decisions and making bad turnovers and doing this stuff, but yet we continually just do it throughout the game. Like at some point, the coach needs to do something about it. For example, first half, Jordan Clarkson, horrible first half, offensively and defensively. He's not moving the ball at all, taking stupid shots, making bad passes and dumb decisions. He proceeds, and Keontae was actually playing solid at the time. He proceeds to take Keontae out and bring Colin Sexton in and never bring in Chris Dunn. And if you think Chris Dunn is not a good ball player, you really don't know winning basketball. It's sorry, but it's true because Chris Dunn makes so many good plays that help teams win that don't show up on the stat on a box score. And that's something that we need players on this team to do. It's something that Jay Crowder was really good at when he was with Utah. It's something that Joe Ingles was great at with Utah is just doing a lot of those small things that winning players make. And so refusing to play him at all, besides his little tiny stretch at the start of each half, is really starting to get it's frustrating because we talk about how he's a winner and he needs to be in the lineup and it has to be starting, but yet we don't ever bring him back on the court no matter how bad anybody's playing. Is really confusing to me on what kind of direction this team is going. We are end of January and we don't really seem to have a clear path of success right now with who we're playing, who we're developing. We're obviously developing Sensabaugh and Hendricks in the G League and stuff like that, but there does come a point where that needs to transition into the league. That needs to have time to develop in the league. And it comes back down to hoping over the next week we see some moves happen. And I'm at a point where it's like I'm really not looking for a whole lot for some of the guys we move beyond being able to play some of our young players. But I'm not really sure what kind of the path is right now. Another night, back-to-backs where our 5 position gives us actually really solid minutes. I felt like John Collins had a very physical game and played physically nice on the, like, not nice, but physical on the court and had a nice game. I also feel like Walker Kessler came in and made a huge difference defending the rim and affecting players' shots, but proceeded to really I think he only played like 17 minutes in the game. And so even when he's playing at a high level, he doesn't seem to be getting really a heavy dosage of minutes. And I'd like to see games like this where he's coming out and really causing problems, that we keep him on the court. And whether that's we move John Collins to the 4 for some time, or back to the 4 for some time and play Markkanen at the 3, which we did a little bit finally tonight, or we play John Collins a little less minutes. It's fine if we play Collins 26 minutes and Kessler 22 minutes, or 26 minutes Kessler and 22 minutes for John Collins, depending on who's playing and stuff like that. But when they're both having good, solid nights, I'd like to see them on the court at some point together to just allow more minutes, especially where, once again, Kelly Olynyk just looks like he's not interested, especially on the defensive side of the court. And our bench unit is so bad right now defensively. We bring out Keontae George, Jordan Clarkson, Kelly Olynyk, and our defense is you really can get whatever you want. And it's very frustrating, and I just feel like I'm ranting at this point. But man, I want a direction. I want to know what side, where are we going? What is the point of all of this? Because if it's to win a championship, there's not looking good right now. And then I hope in a week and a half, a little over a week, I guess, I'm preaching a different tune because we've made some moves and we actually have a clear direction of what we want to do. Until then, I'm going to be frustrated. But yeah, I'd love to actually, part of the reason why I want to see John Collins play the 4 a little bit, I understand he wasn't great playing the 4 at the start of the season, but he's more comfortable on the team and with the players right now. So maybe give it another chance at this point because of that. But also, he's a good post player. He's probably our best post player besides maybe him and Markkanen. And he's strong in the paint. When he can play the 4 and get someone who's a little bit smaller or maybe even the same size, he's really good at that little kind of touch hook that he has. Not necessarily not a full hook, but just a little jump push shot almost. It's very good with that. And I'd like to see us utilize that more. Part of him moving there also allows Markkanen to go to the 3 and take mismatches, because Markkanen had to go against Precious Achiuwa all night, and Achiuwa is a pretty strong defender. He got past him a couple times when we got him the ball in the right position. And so I think that's the biggest problem with our team right now. It's not just getting Markkanen the ball in the right position, getting our players, anybody, the ball in the right position. None of our guards are doing a great job at that right now. The only one who's maybe doing the best at it is Chris Dunn, but he doesn't get a whole lot of opportunities. Keontae has taken a huge step backwards since the way he was playing in the starting lineup. And I don't know if that's part of the players he's playing with in the bench unit, or if that's just the rookie wall, whatever you want to call it. You need to switch something up, because him playing next to Clarkson and Olynyk just isn't working at all. They are both very ball-heavy players, and when he does get the ball, there's not a whole lot of spacing because one of them is just standing right next to him for the ball anyway. So it doesn't work. He has no real opportunities, and that's the point of the season, is to get a guy like Keontae, if he's someone who we really have this high of hopes for, of what he can develop into. We need to stop wasting all of these minutes of him on the court where he's not even getting an opportunity to grow into that role. He needs to be able to grow into that role. I can take a 118 to 103 loss against a team that's playing really good in the Knicks if we're taking that loss with development. At this point, the best reason for us to get blown out is because it allows Keontae to freaking play a good long stretch as the primary ball handler. He's had a couple offensive explosions in doing that, so I'd like to see us do that a little bit early. Now, is that with him coming off the bench or starting? I don't really care, as long as it's with the right players. And so, very frustrating game, past couple games for us. And so, we have a few more games until the trade deadline. We finally go home after a long road stretch, and our team just feels not interested. I don't know if maybe that's the road trip. Maybe that's the trade deadline approaching, and there's certain players that don't know if they're going to be here in a week. Whatever it is, I can't wait for next, I believe, Thursday to hopefully get a team that can really start to solidify together and start working that. And so, just a little bit of thoughts on that. Where I don't have Shawn here, I kind of watched this game by myself. I'd be curious to see what your guys' thoughts were on this game. If I'm being overly critical or underly critical, whatever. Please let me know. Please let me hear about it so I can hear what your guys' thoughts are and get a little bit of input from other people. It's always a good exercise to be able to kind of have that back and forth and different points of views. If you just agree with me, let me know because it makes me feel a whole lot better. But either way, if you've hung around until this late, it's a little bit of a quicker video by myself. Not as much, obviously, conversation back and forth. I appreciate your guys' support we've had as this channel has grown, and all of that has grown, and all the likes and comments and subscribers have been awesome, and hoping to continue to grow that and be able to get more of a production as the months and even year goes by and develop that now that I've moved into my new place. Obviously, with what I mentioned last video, this week is going to be a little hectic and stuff like that with my in-laws family and helping them along with all of that. A couple people, at least one or two in the comments, some condolences and stuff like that. I appreciate that and definitely extend that towards my in-laws family as well. But for everyone hanging out, let me know what you think. Are you as frustrated as I am right now? Can you not wait until Thursday like I can't? Or is it just a bad stretch and I'm just being a whiny fan? Either way, let me know. I'll catch you guys Thursday. Thanks, guys.